that's part of like the education and shifting into the feminine leadership is like, no, like, why would I take 4 hours of your time if I can get it done in one? Like, that feels more in integrity to me than like this hourly thing, because like, you know, and maybe this is speaking more to projectors, that it's just like, if I can accomplish more in less time and then you can go and live your life, like, cool, like win-win.
Hey, I'm Taylor Davis. Welcome to Wildly Satisfied. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back, and we're in the third episode with Hannah and Darci. We are talking a lot about what it's like to be a feminine leader in this episode, and honestly the kind of model that we want to create. And the biggest question I think for us is, or the question mark is, we don't know what that looks like, because that's what we're creating right now. And you guys see a lot of feminine leaders, you guys see a lot of women and a lot of men, and how we're able to actually move forward and create something new. We're in a beautiful time where that's happening right now. Yes. So especially if you know human design, there's a little bit around 2027 and the shifts that are happening. And so a lot of the ways that we're working, a lot of the things that we're doing are breaking down, and it's scary. Yes. And I'm sure you guys are seeing that a lot with clients. It's very scary, but at the same time, I see it as a beautiful opportunity to create new structures and new ways of being that are good for our nervous system, that are where we can actually move forward, because we all know what it's like to be frustrated and bitter and angry around different models that just, or constructs and ideas of how we're supposed to operate that don't match who we are. And so I definitely want to dive a little bit into what the new model of feminine leadership might look like. So this episode is going to be a little bit more of just kind of a back and forth of what we would like to see, versus no one has the answer right now.
We're dream boarding.
That's a great way to say it, because it's so funny, because I'm like pleasure and play and turn on, and I want all of that for the feminine. And then you have people who swing to the entire end of the pendulum with the feminine, where they're like, I don't want to do anything. And I'm like, that's not what this is. It's like, can you have pleasure and play and turn on set the standard, and then your masculine can move a little bit from it. And that's how I always say it. But like, what would you guys love to see in your feminine business model going forward, if you could play with anything?
This question is interesting to me, because I think of how I started private practice and working with people, and it was in a very masculine way of like, these are my hours, this is what I do, I don't cancel, I don't anything, I burn myself out, I kind of like burn myself out keeping everybody else warm. And it was actually like starting to be in partnership with you, like in our relationship, and then also just in business, because you are so good at being present with how you feel in the moment. And it's a beautiful gift that a lot of people don't have, and where it's like, okay, even if I have these plans or whatever, if I wake up and I'm not feeling it, or I can't show up as my best self, like, I don't want to do that. And I want to call this person to be honest and just be like, you know what, I didn't get any sleep last night, my dog was up all night, can we have coffee another day? And so little examples like that have helped me shift in our business now. And it's still work where it's like, I find a lot of women entrepreneurs, they also want to be able to have a family and want to be able to not have their family be like the back seat to their business. And our teenager has gone through a lot of mental health issues in the last couple of years, and being able to lean in vulnerably with my clients and say, hey, something's going on with my kid's mental health stuff today. I'm so sorry, I need to reschedule you. Or not even, I'm so sorry, I need to reschedule your appointment. I need to take care of like home, family, kids, and being able to say my kid's struggling with something. Every single time they're like, oh my gosh, family first, absolutely, reach out to me next week. That was a huge step into feminine leadership for me, because it's saying like, I'm a person who has a whole life outside of this, and yes, this is what I'm so passionate about, and I love showing up for you, but I gotta show up for me first and my family first, because otherwise I'm carrying that energy around, and it's gonna get dumped onto my clients, or it's gonna get dumped into the conversations. And I don't see a lot of women doing that. It's like we have this idea of like, I have to be so good at everything, and it's not like an excuse of like, this is just real life. Like, if my kid's having suicidal thoughts and ideation, like, none of you matter right now. This is my focus. And, but I thought that was unprofessional to even share that little bit. But if anything, that's helped me relate to my clients more, or them open up to me more. And it was you saying like, it's okay to be honest with your clients. It's not unprofessional to just like let them know what's going on. And to see that kind of like reflected back in a beautiful way. I just want all women in leadership to be able to like be real and raw. And it's not trauma dumping. It's not like oversharing. It's just, again, like I'm a whole person that has a whole life outside of however I'm showing up for you. So I'd love to see a lot more of that.
So would you call that authenticity, or?
It's vulnerability and authenticity, but it's also not putting my business over my personal life.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot too, because as you said it, I was like, that's a lot about, you know, I think about the business version of what we know of like corporate and things are like, well, no, when you're at work, your personal stuff gets put aside. You're pretty much not a person. I mean, let's be real. You're not. It's like, oh no, we don't talk about that here. It's very like it's very kind of shamey in that way. And at the same time, a lot of the time, and it's like we don't even notice it happening, and then we're like, not cool, because what comes out of their mouths, like let's say it's like a boss or something, is, well, why are you taking time off? Well, I have to leave because my daughter needs something. Well, can't you take care of that elsewhere? Like it's a really not understanding way of being, and it's like we're people. It's like they're like business comes first. It's like no,
that feels very masculine to me.
It's kind of wounded too a little bit. I would say like the business does not come first.
Well, and if women are trying to emulate what they've seen of the male business model, it's like, but like part of why I'm so good at what I do is because I am a mother, because I prioritize family, because of those things. And it's like, I'm not this nurturing, caring person because I read about it in a book, you know. I've raised 2 whole humans, you know.
And you can't also encourage me to want to have kids but then shame me for having them. Like you can't encourage a woman to stay home and have kids and all these things, but then it'd be a burden for her to do that. Like those are constructs that are conflicting, and that I see a lot of the time. So that's an interesting way to put it. I love that, because even something I had a conversation recently where you were like, sorry, I have to go take care of my daughter or whatever it is. It's like, no, but you even caught yourself. You're like, it's not sorry. It's this is what's happening. I need to reschedule. It's not even a conversation. And I think that's a small tweak too. And I even tell this to my clients. I'm like, you don't apologize. You say, hey, I'm actually not available on that day. And it's not mean. It's not like I'm more important than you are. It's I'm no longer available. I'm sick. I'm going to need to reschedule. Because even I've had situations with clients who are very much leadership based, beautiful, mostly in integrity clients. We all have our moments. And I've had like never rescheduled anything. The one day that I reschedule because I woke up sick. And the response is, oh, can we meet later in the afternoon? No. I'm sick. And so like even not apologizing for that and just telling people that this is, because it is your business too. They like the client's always right, I think, is very dangerous because that can get very toxic if you're not careful.
And feeling the desire to not be seen, because it goes into identity of like, I'm not a flaky person. I'm not someone who cancels last minute. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But that really like robs you of like your humanity, like having like waking up and, you know, being able to just, here we're dealing with people's bodies and nervous systems. And if I am going to completely disregard what my body is telling me, how much of a leader can I really be? And like, you know, eventually having a team or showing up for, you know, employees or however that looks, like if I'm not walking that walk. And I think you see this a little bit in like more of like the millennial, like supervisors and things like, it's like, no, I know that, you know, you need to go get off on Mondays at 3 because you have therapy. Like I respect that. Like I see that starting to happen in more corporate type stuff. But when you look at like the leadership and entrepreneurship of being able to like take care of all of your stuff, like whether it's massages and yoga and working out or meditating or whatever that is, so that you can show up like fully for your team or for your employees, or and you're not bringing that dysregulation to work every day.
And it can be very dysregulating for your team if you don't bring it up, because I've definitely had clients in the past who have been such beautiful leaders and in the moment can't regulate their own nervous system, and or even to know when to step back and being like, hey, actually we don't need to regulate and we don't need to calm our nervous system in front of everybody else. And I think that it's funny because it's like the pendulum swinging back and forth. When we all worked from home and we all started businesses and everything, we were like, screw corporate, I don't want to do it like that. And then we swung to the other side where it's like we want to be very understanding, and it literally went to so understanding that it wasn't working. And now it's coming back into the middle where we go, okay, well, one, do we need to process everything? Do we need to process everything right now in this moment?
Yes.
Is it something where we actually need to, in our own leadership, in our own sovereignty, because we're all sovereign beings, and you going into a business where, yes, you are seen and heard and celebrated and all those things, it's amazing. And they're not your mother, right? They are a leader. You are a leader to them. You are a leader of yourself, being like, okay, I'm actually not okay in this moment. I think I need to step away for a brief second and being able to go and deal with what's happening. Because I've even had moments where I, as a feminine leader myself, have gotten dysregulated in a conversation with a client because the client is dysregulated. So I would love to see a lot of I always say, like, check yourself first. It's, where did I not show up? And then my systems, and then my processes, and then my people, always. And so if you are a feminine leader, like, I think that we need to start asking ourselves, where am I asking the wrong questions? Where am I actually showing up in a dysregulated state? Where am I not taking care of myself? Where am I expecting other people to take care of me? And we talked about this a little bit before we got on. The one thing that really irks me, and I think it's really, like, dysregulating for my nervous system, is when you look at someone on your team and you go, well, you're not making me money. And I will say this, and I'm going to just own it. No one on your team is supposed to make you money unless they are a salesperson, and that's exactly their job. And so I feel like with, I think it's a little bit of an old construct if you think about it. If you think about, like, the corporate world and stuff like that, they're like, well, you have to have a purpose and have an ROI, otherwise you're not on the team. And it's like, well, yeah, of course you're going to have an ROI, but what if that ROI is keeping your team together because they're all having meltdowns, and that one person might not have a price tag that's, like, coming in directly to them, but they're navigating all of the shit that everybody's going through. Like, I once had a client also, I managed her entire team, and it was a very toxic environment. The team was beautiful, but the toxicity was there, and I was like, cool, gotta get out of here. One of the experience when I got out was like, well, what does Taylor do? And then all the team members were like, keep it together. That's what I used to do. And so I don't know, it's something I would love to see in terms of, as we lead forward, where can we see where we're not in alignment and own where we're not showing up, and where we're putting, maybe you were talking about in another episode, like self-resourcing. It's like, where are we not self-resourcing, where it's now kind of going all over everybody on the team that we have. So, yeah.
Well, and even you, like, speaking to, because I know for you, if you're doing your self-care practices, like, the leadership that you show up with at the studio and with clients is like how I'm trying to think of what you said about that earlier.
Thanks for the invitation. I definitely feel like when I'm not taking care of myself, when I'm not actively in my morning routine, when I'm just kind of had the case of the buckets. Yeah. Can I say that?
Yeah, just bucket.
And I just wake up and I doom scroll and all that stuff, and I realize that is not where I want to be. But then it's like, if I'm not fully connected, then how am I supposed to be utilized as a vessel to help facilitate healing? If I'm not really doing the self-care practice, and that's like, is listening to everything that you guys have been saying, that to me is like, I'm doing disservice to my clients when I'm not actively taking care of myself, because how much more profound or beneficial could the session be if I was more in tune, and so it is the making sure you're taking care of yourself and not allowing it to spill onto other people. I feel like I'm pretty good at, like, putting my shit aside when I walk into a session, and I don't make it about them, but it is, I feel that I'm not showing up in the way that I could, and so then that is another layer of maybe shame or guilt.
Well, it shows up on the back end.
Yeah,
like, so
on the back end. They won't know.
They won't know,
Yeah,
because we can put our baggage at the door, but what happens is, at the end of the day, we don't have anything left to give each other. Like, and you get home and you don't have the energy to, like, make dinner, and so you stop and pick something up. And so, like, that's the other shift in leadership with the feminine, is like, it's to say, like, to nurture yourself or to take care of yourself, but it's just like, what does that actually look like? Because I'm doing this for myself so that I can show up in my work, whatever it is, like, fully, because, like, on the back end, I'm not, like, one of our things that we used to get kind of frictiony about is where it's like, you pour into your clients all day long and there's nothing left for me, or there's nothing left for you. And that's like, that's not okay. That's not the relationship and the marriage that I want. Like I don't want what's left at the end of the day, but I think so many women, they give everything, and at the end of the day, sometimes that's why they are shut off from their husband or from their kids, because they're like, I just want to go and have a glass of wine, be in the bath, and go to bed and start all over the next day. And that needs to shift.
I mean, even like you saying that, it reminds me of the fact that the business models that we have aren't set up because we're working all the time, and then we don't have time to be able to do those things. If you're setting up a business model where you are constantly working 5 days a week, which by the way, you guys, like, that's not what you're supposed to do. That was Henry Ford, and that was that's just not a thing.
So much of your life.
Like if the question is, I think for me, is actually how can we get more done or the same amount of work done in less time with this, like, and it's looking at your pricing, and it's looking at how you're setting up, how people have access to you, and all of these things that we need to look at, because if you're constantly working, if you're working 5 days a week, you're working too much.
Yes.
You're working way too much.
Yeah.
So,
well, and getting out of the construct and the idea of like, okay, I'm starting my own business, so I can't afford to pay other people to do things. And so it's going to take me 8 hours to create a website. But if I'm working in my magic in those 8 hours, how much money could I create and earn? And then I can pay someone to do it in 2, and they love that. And so that's the shift that as a personal, in my feminine, that I'm, instead of the work that I don't want to do, I've been operating like I assume it's busy work and other people don't want to do it. And I'm like, wait. Some people love this shit. Like, why am I trying to do this? And I'm not going to do it as well. I'm going to be really bitter and frustrated and have meltdowns and all these things, when really, if I'm in my magic over here for those 2 hours of whatever that it took me to pay someone to do that. And so it's shifting from that solopreneur, lone wolf, whatever, into trusting other people. And that's kind of the phase that we're in, is like, what can we delegate or outsource, and what systems do we need to put in place? Because then, one, I'm pouring into someone else in their magic and doing their thing, and that lights me up, where it's just like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. This is so much better than I thought it could be. But it's trusting that process, feeling safe in that process. And so it's me pulling back and us looking at our nervous systems, and it's like, okay, what do we need to know, do, be, understand to outsource and ask for what we need. But again, we're creating this as we go. So I love this conversation, because it's making me realize that I'm like, oh, that's okay, these little things. And
yeah, I think too, like for me, I think that's part of why my entire business is built around this. I laugh because I go, okay, I want to be a successful lazy bitch. I actually had someone recently, my sister had a surgery, and someone actually turned to her and was like, oh, you're going for the easy way, huh? And this is totally not related to business at all, but I looked at her and I was like, yeah, go for the easy way.
Why do it hard?
Why would you do this hard? Like, it makes no sense. Like, screw that person, because no one should say that to you. That's very shameful. But I'm like, you've already tried the hard way, and like, we made it hard. Why wouldn't you go the easiest way? Not to say that we don't need to do challenging things.
Because you learned it from men. You have to be in pain and the suffering to get to success. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, and so if you look at your business model and you go, okay, well, you know, that's why I have like the turn on vision comes first for me, is the feminine sets the standard. Freedom, play, and turn on needs to be where we're building structures around, and then our masculine will be able to move from it. And so if we're looking at our teams or the things that we're doing, and we're like, oh, okay, well, I just want to make money. That's not going to get you very far. We all want to make money. It's going to happen. But like, if we can do it in a pleasurable way, why wouldn't we? And so if we're looking at even, you know, all the things that you were saying around, oh, I have a team who does these things, and can I outsource, and can I be able to do those things? Those things aren't even pleasurable to you, which means you're like, ugh, and then there's so much mental energy, and then your body's tired, and then you need to go to bodywork a lot more.
Seriously.
I want to go to bodywork and enjoy what's happening, instead of feeling like I'm always needing to fix something.
Oh my God, I feel this, because I said earlier this year, but I literally was like, I want to nourish myself, not because I am recovering all the time, but because I want to continue to grow. So I feel like there's
beautiful.
Yeah, like you get to a point where like we're nourishing ourselves, or we're trying to come back from burnout, or what's the word? I'm trying to think of what the word is.
You're always in like recovery mode.
Recovery, yeah. Like we're always trying to recover from something, versus going, hey, what if we just stop doing the things that we're having to recover from to a point? Get ourselves to a baseline of like homeostasis of like, oh, I'm pretty good. And then we just add, and we do these things like body work and emotion work and everything, because we want to feel better than just a baseline. right?
No, it's we have like a signature offer that we've actually just started in the last probably like 6 to 8 months, and it was both of us, because like when we're working with somebody, and usually it's women, it's like sometimes when I'm doing body work and hands-on, I'm like, oh, I wish I could like have a second person here to do energy work or vice versa. And so we've just created these sessions, and it goes through this like 3-phase process where we like we're doing emotional clearing, we're doing body tuning things, but first we like illuminate what's going on. And so like I feel like that's kind of what we're doing with the feminine, like we're illuminating where are the problems, where do we want to focus. And then phase 2 of it is like this recalibration. And so that's where it's clearing trapped emotions, and it's doing the body work and trigger point stuff. And then at the end, it's this chakra activation, where here we've like identified, we've recalibrated, and now let's just activate and go. And so like that's how I see like with us in that feminine business model, it's like we're still like fine tuning and finding what works and recalibrating into something that feels good and nourishing. Because once you get to the activation stage, it's just like, okay, cool, I'm back in myself, I can just go and everything flows. Like it's just like effortlessly. And that's how I want our business and like feminine business. It's this flow and it's this fun, but you have to go through these stages to like get there. And I think that collectively is where this shift is happening. And like, so we're kind of in the trenches right now, but it's as projectors being able to see that like, no, there's this better way to do it. We just have to like see the nuances of it. And like people come out of these sessions and there was like, that was just called like a spiritual car wash, and like everything is just so back and so here, and we get to be in our magic with it. And it's these entrepreneurial women is mostly who we've been doing it with, and it's just like, cool, you just got like double projector magic, whatever, and it's like a 2-hour session, and it's like they have more clarity than they've had in so long. And so that's where it's like doing more in less time and it being really potent. I see that's how like females, like feminine leadership is going to go too.
We can do it more in less time. I've noticed that a lot as well, in the difference between men and women. I always joke, I'm like, if you can't help, get out of the way, because we can do it really fast.
Yeah. Our brains work that way.
Yeah. I think too, that also brings up the like hourly work and looking at things of like, hey, it's, oh my God, I'm doing a 2-hour session and I'm paying $300 for it or whatever it is. I don't know his price for that, but it's like you can't look at things that way. It's what's the results?
What's the transformation?
What's the transformation? What are the things that are actually happening in that? And are you showing up as a feminine leader and providing that ability for people to do that? Because there are some people who are like, oh yeah, well I can charge $10,000 for this, and then they don't have the outcome, which is out of integrity. We need to like recalibrate a little. But in terms of like getting rid of the hourly model of it makes no sense. It makes no sense to look at it. It makes no sense, because if I can give you an amazing result in 30 minutes, we can have one conversation and it change your life. If you can have one session and be like, oh my God, I feel better than I've felt in 6 months. Isn't that worth so much more in a price tag than $300 or whatever it was, you know?
But then you have to like deconstruct, like, because that's not what people are used to. People, everything has a price, you know what I mean? And so it's like, you know, I can see the people who come on a weekly basis and they do it for preventative self-care, all of that stuff. And then you see the people that are like, yeah, it's my birthday in 3 months, and so I get to come back and do this.
Mistreat myself.
And it's all about your viewpoint and what's important, like, or what you value.
Yeah,
you know?
It's the value placed on it for sure. And that's part of like the education and shifting into the feminine leadership is like, no, like, why would I take 4 hours of your time if I can get it done in 1? Like, that feels more an integrity to me than like this hourly thing, because like, you know, and maybe this is speaking more to projectors, that it's just like, if I can accomplish more in less time and then you can go and live your life, like, cool, like win-win.
Well, I just had a whole thought. Like, what if we do like mystery bodywork sessions? You don't know how long your session's gonna be. But after we do the session, I want you to like, because I do feel like I can do an hour session where people don't realize it, like, I mean, I feel like I got a lot done in that hour session.
But it wasn't rushed, and it wasn't like it's there still.
But time is a construct anyway. So.
It is. Well, It's funny because even as you say that, I'm like, okay, so the question would be like, but how do I plan for this? Well, you don't plan anything that comes after you get a massage, first of all. So like there's that. But I think about that. I even like wipe out my day. I like you guys later in the evening because I'm like, yep, not going to do anything after this because it's just how it is. But I get that because people do have to plan a little bit. But having the hourly conversation, and honestly, I'm going to say it honestly, cheapening people by an hourly rate, it's not helping anything. It's actually cutting off the results that you can get. Because you're like, oh, but I paid you $50 for the hour. It's like, doesn't matter. You got an entire trailer edited in an hour.
Seriously.
You should be giving that person more money. And so it's just, it's such an opportunity to look at where we can shift things to be more impactful and not go by any type of old model that's just not working anymore. It's just not.
It is.
Us having more conversations like this, but with more women, you know, like I think part of this is like building community with women and not just having it be like networking groups. It's more just building community of entrepreneurial women who want the support and want reflections and want to be seen. I think about that cacao ceremony we did, where we did the high five, high vibe, whatever that is. And just being the reflection and having people see you like that in and of itself can be really empowering. And and so I think just building community of people that we can share this information with, that can start sharing it with other people. And
I think that's also very feminine. We're very we're very much in community. We're the tribe. We're all the people, and we want to come together. The solopreneur, I always say this all the time. I'm like, that's such a masculine thing of like, I'm the lone wolf, point A to point B. It's very linear. It's very, I'm going to go at it alone. That's not how we operate.
I would rather get to the end of this journey and be able to talk about all the people who helped me get to where I'm at versus like, I did this and I made it here, and like all the trials and like I feel like it's so much more of the feminine. You're leading this group of people, and whether it's your community or people that you're partnering with, like partnership is huge for us. And being able to build like this trusted network of people, and that just speaks so much more to even just how women are built. And I want to see more of that. I want to be invited into more like circles like that for sure.
And also, and I guess we can end with that note. I know that when I'm in community, once I love somebody, I tell like all this time, I'm like, I'm loyal. We're in it till death. You're not going anywhere. I joke about it. But I'm also over here like, hey, Hannah and Darci, you should go see them for body work and massage. It's going to change your life. Like, I pump up the people in my life. And I love that about truly like heart-centered feminine communities where there's not competition. It's all collaboration. It's all of us coming together to actually help one another rise faster. And I just love that.
I agree.
I love being able to be like, go to this person for this.
When it feels good, it lights you up. Like sending a good referral or building that relationship, because you know how they're going to be on the other side of it, and you're just like, oh, just wait.
Yes, I love it. Oh my God, I love this. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
If anything, like I just love having you guys in my life, and I'm glad that we got to talk about this. And if anyone that's listening or watching, you can actually, like I said in every other episode, we always have the Q&A forum, and we'll have links for Hannah and Darci. If you're in Austin, please come here and get bodywork with them. But also they do travel if you have retreats and events, and they do special things and customized things for that as well that you can talk to them about. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth with that. But yeah, they're here, they're available, and they love being invited, especially as projectors. So invite them in and just go get a massage, for the love of God. It's like every person I've sent, they're like, yes.
I love it.
Massage, energy work, body work, all of it. So
well, and thank you for being a big fan and seeing us and what we do, and thank you for inviting us today and
creating this space for these conversations that I think are there. It's the time, and we both love being a part of it. So thank you, Taylor.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Wildly Satisfied production. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we would love it if you would share it with someone that you love, leave a review, or come tag us on social media at Wildly Satisfied.